What's going on, everybody? Y'all already know what it is, man. I'm your host, Terrence Pitts, aka Pitts and Foot Sports Talk Radio, Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, coming to you live with Yinz Talk. Y'all already know what it is. Just a new name, special edition. Pittsburgh still at top. Couldn't let them black and gold boys go without having a conversation. But before I get to that, definitely got to send a shout out to Staples, the sponsor of Pitts and Foot Sports Talk Radio. So I don't know what that was. It just hit an okie doke on me. It was supposed to do that first. That's what was supposed to happen first. All I saw was you are now live, and I did not see my 30-second countdown. So it made me do that spill the first 40 seconds, and now I have to go back through it. But I ain't doing that. Sponsors, shop for all your needs, print needs, banners, copy, business cards, etc. Let's get into it. Listen. We got some familiar faces, then we have a new face. But I want to introduce the new face. The new face is my cousin Natalie. Listen, sports is no bigger in anyone's family more than my own. And I mean from a perspective of the men and the women going back and forth. And not just talking off the surface of wins and losses. I'm talking detail. So I'm glad to have her on. I'm glad that she was able to join. To my big cuz, Natalie, in the 412. Hey, cuz.
Hello.
Welcome, Natalie.
What's up, Natalie?
Thank you.
So first things first, I want to go around the room real quick, right? And I want to get everyone's perspective on their thoughts about the Steelers, and let's just say up until this point, what are your thoughts in regards to the acquisitions that has happened, the struggles along the way, etc. Go ahead, my man Will, and his ho spirit.
What's up, y'all? This is Bro Me Claus, aka Will Mitch in the building. It's that time of season, you know what I'm saying? That time of year. Let's get in the spirit, man. But you see I'm rocking the PS4L right there. But anyway, hey man, I feel good about where we are right now, overall. We got a tough road ahead, so I'm a little optimistic, but I'm a little nervous, as to what we're gonna do on Sunday. I know that Myles Garrett looked like he got a little nicked up, dinged up this past week on Thursday, but it's a good chance that not Thursday but Sunday, but it's a good chance that was it Monday? It was Monday game.
Monday.
It's a good chance that he may not be 100%, and that might bode well for us. But I would like to see a little bit more proof, because this was the first game that we really broke out offensively. I've been waiting on that all year. I'm one of I'm in the minority when I say that I think that we should be a offensive led team. I know a lot of people want to stay with the defense and really think the defense is the way to go. I like the complementary style defense, but I really need to see that offense break out. It did this past week, and I'm hoping to see more of that. So that's kind of where I am. Losing Calvin Austin was a bummer, but I think he's working his way back. If we had Roman Wilson, I'd probably feel a little bit better, but we don't have him. He's working his way back as well. But we're gonna see what happens Sunday. If we can go ahead and knock these Browns out and keep them from sweeping us, I think I'll feel one step better about where we headed, our trajectory.
Yeah.
I feel good. We're in a good spot. We're looking good. You know me, I was rooting for Russ. So he's doing his thing now. We need to clean up with the penalties and get Pickens' attitude under control during the game.
That's another topic.
Table that one. Let's get to that.
We definitely gonna get to that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mitch.
But our defense still looking good too, though. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You said go ahead with the defense.
I said our defense is looking good too.
Okay, Mitch.
I'm very confident. I'm very confident in this team. There's some things that I would like us to clean up, of course, but for the most part, I like the trajectory of the team. I like the youth and the direction that it's going in. I don't disagree with what Will said about the offense, but I know we still gotta have a solid defense. So I'm very confident. I might be a little overconfident, but I'm very confident in what the direction of this team.
Okay, Sean, my man.
I'm excited for what they're doing so far. I really like what I've been seeing so far this year. Like I know when they lost to the Browns the first time, at first I was upset, but then I seen like a whole bunch of other people was taking L's to inferior squads. So I was like, it's not really that big of a deal. I do think just like both Mitches, that the offense should lead us. I like the defense. I mean, it's still a top 10 defense. I like to see them continue to move TJ Watt around a little bit more, so he won't be getting like the chips and the triple teams and all that stuff. Because I think that definitely helps our defense be more effective. They are opportunistic, so they cause a lot of turnovers. And I think as far as scoring right now, I think we're like 10th scoring or average scoring. So I like that. And I want them to keep that up, keep their foot on the gas. I like what Russ is doing. Man, I know Terrence and me had a conversation before, and I was the one that wanted them to keep Fields in, but I gotta give it up for Mr. Unlimited right now. He getting out there, so I like what Mr. Unlimited is doing.
I mean, I was spot. Everybody was telling me I was crazy. We had text messages, and they calling me all type of names because I'm saying, listen, if Russ is healthy, give me Russ, and for specific reasons, and for all those reasons that I stated, he has raised the level, in my opinion, of the whole offensive side of the ball, right? Mm-hmm. Because it was never about the talent. It was always about the veteran leadership. Like I always said that we have a very immature young offense and we need a vocal veteran leader. And that's something that I felt and still feel that Russ is the best to get us there, in addition to, making things happen on the field. But Sean, you said something I want to ask. So were you more upset that we lost to a 2-9 team, or were you more upset that we lost to the Browns?
It was more the Browns, because them cats is feces, man. Like, come on, dude. You got J-Bo at QB spitting sermons before the game, talking all types of. I'd be like, dog, come on, we can't lose to them. And then you had the Myles Garrett stuff, talking about he's the best defensive player out here, and going at Watt like, oh, you need to apologize, all that cornball stuff. And I just don't like the Browns. Like, I don't like the organization.
And the reason why I asked is because, for me, and I said this before, I'm not necessarily upset that we lost to the Browns. I'm more upset in the way that we played, right? Because anytime we play divisional football, divisional games is different. You throw records out the window. Records mean nothing when it comes to division games. And that's just as simple as it is. Like, everybody gets up for that game, whether it's the Bengals, the Browns, the Ravens, or the Steelers. No matter who's playing who, you're always going to get their absolute best. And regardless if it's Jameis or not, you got to remember, Jameis was the number one. He was a first-round draft pick for a reason. And, he'll throw some touchdowns, but then he'll give you some pick sixes too. So I wasn't necessarily mad at us losing. I was more upset with the way that our defense played and the way that our offensive line played, more than anything.
I feel the same way.
So we want boomerang back to you, Sean, right? Oh my goodness. Listen, this person here, if he is annoying. His name is Gerard Hines. Listen, I love him. Bowie State, we are everything. But man, oh man, this Raven fan here, I heard from him when we lost to the Browns the first game, right? He texted. But then I ain't hear nothing from him when they lost those last two games. He been quiet as a church mouse these last couple of weeks. He ain't had nothing to say. But here he is today I see the Ravens are feeling better about themselves because it's a bye week, so they can talk. And they're a little yes, thumbs down. Thank you very much.
No
So
love. No love.
so listen, so what are your thoughts in regards to how the offensive line has settled in thus far in the last 3 or 4 games?
You know what? It seems to be in line with what's been happening the last few years. Like it takes them a minute to start gelling and start, start playing up to par. I mean, they still had because it's not that long ago, like a game or two ago, where that first half they let Miles Garrett. He was just eating Dan Moore's lunch, man. He was give me that. He was just doing whatever in that first half. So, but I do like how they seem to be getting better. Like I like what Broderick Jones is doing. I always thought he was a beast. It just seems like it takes him a while to develop. His pass blocking is getting it's getting a little bit better. They're getting some more. It seems like a little bit healthier on the line. So I like how it's gelling, and I want to see the running game get going a little bit more because I'm still a Najee fan. So I want Najee to go over that 1,000-yard mark so they can give
Yeah,
Najee that his little change.
right. Hey Mitch, before you jump on, hey Gerard, since you got these trigger fingers, these internet fingers, hey, you're more than welcome to join in. You are more than welcome to join in if you like to and
Man,
get ate up live, get ate up live on the show. Listen, yeah, I don't want to listen. If Gerard, if you want to jump on, let me know. I'll shoot you the link so you can get on. Go ahead, Mitch. He ain't going to do it. That's what Raven fans
Hold
do.
on.
They just want to type.
Before I even get into that, I want all the smoke, especially from a Raven fan.
Oh
I need
yeah,
that.
let him get on.
But but
Come to the Lions Den.
I love how the offensive line playing lately. I didn't like I was on record saying that I didn't really because I ain't like how they played most of that Cleveland game. I didn't. Um, but I think they rebounded last week. I was impressed last week, honestly, because I know Hubbard and Hendricks can really get at it, and they was quiet. They was quiet last week, so I was extremely impressed with how they played last week. I just hope the offense continue to play the way they played. Terrence, I think you was right about Russ and his imprint on his offense. Even just watching them on the sideline, it's just the vibe just seemed different offensively. If our offense scoring points like that, I don't think we can be beat. That's just my opinion. And I feel like our defense, I think last week was probably an anomaly, but we're not going to give up 38 points on a regular basis. That's not going to happen. And if we can score in a late, like 28 and above, man, you can cancel Christmas.
Nat, your thoughts on the offensive line from how we started to where we are now?
I think we're looking good. I was telling you before about the quarterback. I wasn't feeling it because when that pocket collapsed, so did he. So
Yep.
now with Russ out there, 300-400 yards a game, I'm very confident. I already told my dad and my son, we gonna beat the Chiefs. Like I am done talking about the Browns.
And you don't win 3 games ahead. You don't skip the Browns, the Ravens, and the Eagles. Damn, damn, she done skipped all three.
Like we gonna beat them. And this was before they even got their first loss. I was saying we was gonna beat them. So we looking good. I can't complain too much.
Right, Will Mitch.
Yeah, the offensive line, I think, is the key to everything. I think that they're going to set the tone that the rest of this team is going to feed off of. Last week was a good game for them. There was a lot of good zone blocking schemes. Everybody was physical. Good hand placement, you name it. But I just need to see it continue. And if it does, like everybody said, I mean, the sky's the limit for this team. We're going to need it because I know that Broderick Jones has problems with Buffalo, with their defensive line and tackles and things like that. They're real physical, dominant defensive linemen have given us trouble. So if we can come out of this game clean on Sunday, and then pin our ears back and get ready for what's coming next. I think that's going to be the key to the rest of our season. If them boys can keep reducing the penalties, because the penalties have reduced greatly, and I'm happy about that. Not a lot of holding and things like that. It seems like they're playing on one sheet of music. And so shout out to the offensive line coach and the offensive coordinator for getting that done. But they're talking, they're communicating, and I think everybody's running high on that offensive side. And Najee is definitely leading the pack. I love his attitude. I love his demeanor. I don't know what we're going to do with that young man. Sounds like it's a foregone conclusion that he's going to be gone. I hope not. There's people that think that he's not coming back, but if hopefully they're in his ear and they have something, a verbal agreement that he's going to be okay with, and they can get that done. But we got a lot of people to pay next year. But I think Najee's going to be central to keeping that offensive, that offense moving forward. We need a big back, so we'll see what happens.
George Pickens. Let's stay on the offensive side of the ball. Let's talk about 1-4. How concerned are you? Well, one, give your take on George and everything that has transpired, this season thus far. How concerned are you that one of his antics is going to cost us a crucial game at a crucial point in time? Mitch, you go first. Will, you go first.
Oh, well, the thing I'm concerned with is that maturity level. I know a lot of people say he's young, but the maturity level. This is his third year in the league, and he's due for a big paycheck. And if you listen to Mike said he needs to grow up, and he needs to grow up real quick, because they have to make a decision this offseason on whether or not they're going to pay this boy, 30 million a year, 20 anywhere between 25 and 30 million a year. I can tell you he's a brand kind of guy. And I think he's going to want to be the top paid, the highest paid receiver. So I don't think he's going to give us a discount. So I think they're going to have to probably make a business decision that's best. Mr. Rooney don't strike me as the type of person who wants to see another AB type situation. But I think he's doing himself a disservice, because the thing is, other wide receivers his age aren't causing all these issues that he's causing. They're not continuing to make the same mistakes that he's making. And it's just all maturity. And if he can clean that up, which means that starting this week, he's going to have to, from this week on, he's going to have to prove to Mr. Rooney that he understands, he gets it, and those issues are in the past and behind him. Otherwise, they're going to make a tough business decision this year. We may not all agree with it or like it.
No.
I like him. He's a good receiver, but that attitude is going to kill him and us at some point, and we don't need it in the playoffs and none of that. We don't need it. So I don't know what they're going to do, but he's going to have to get it together if he wants to stick around and get paid.
Do you think he's capable of adapting? Do you think he's mature enough to get out of that cycle? Because when you got Broderick Jones talking to you, as many mistakes as he's made, even though it's been penalties wise, like that's a character issue. Would you say?
Yep.
And
he's been consistent.
Yep.
He's been consistent. From Georgia on, he's been consistent. He is who he is. He hasn't. We have to believe what our eyes show us.
So with that being said, he showed us who he was in Georgia, right? So should we not be surprised, and should it be okay?
It didn't cost us in Georgia, but it's going to cost us to re-sign him. And I think once he gets his money, he's going to be unteachable. So I think it's going to be a tough decision. I don't have a real good feeling as to how this is going to end, because I absolutely love the guy, and I really would not want to see him on the other side of us on any team, particularly in the AFC North, because I know who's going to be quick to want to gobble him up. But if we can trade him away, if that's what they decide to do, they have to do something similar to what they did with Deontay. Send him to somebody that can't hurt us right away. But other than that, man, I love the dude. I really wish that he could get his stuff together. I don't want him to leave, but I have a funny feeling that he's he can go spurts where he got it all together as long as everything's going good. He's getting his numbers, he's getting his he getting his shine. If he as long as he getting that, he good. But the second it gets tough and the ball ain't coming his way, that's a pout. That's a childish mentality that you can see the weight that it had on the team this past game against Cincinnati. Broderick Jones was in his ear, Mike Tomlin was in his ear, Cam was in his ear, everybody was in his ear. And he was like a little child, his body, his posture, his body. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a collective thing, but I think Mr. Rooney ultimately he's gonna have to say, do I want to pay this boy $30 million a year and still have these type of problems with him? That's where it is. That's kind of the situation he put himself in.
Nat, did you have anything to follow up to that? Mitch?
I like the kid. I've been watching him since he was a freshman at Georgia. I think some of the stuff was unwarranted, particularly last week. I thought some of the stuff was unwarranted. Nobody ain't really talking about. Well, no, I can't say that because I've seen a lot of people talking about it, like the stuff to the crowd. I seen Josh Allen do that. I seen Patrick Mahomes do that. I seen a rack of players across the league do the same damn thing, and ain't no one get flagged or say nothing. But for some reason, he got it. But that's only that one. Because the other things, man, he just got to be more mature. It ain't nothing. It ain't nothing you can really say about it, but that he has to be more mature. But I'm confident he's gonna still be on this team. He a talent. That boy a talent. And if you are going to get rid of him, you can't. My thinking is always this: you don't get rid of a good player without having another good player to replace him. And if you're gonna get rid of him, don't think that Jefferson is gonna replace him or somebody like who do we have on this roster that could replace that dude? You know what I'm saying? You would have to bring somebody or have a target or something, which I'm pretty sure Khan would have that type of mentality if that's what he decided to do. But we need to strengthen our receiving core. He at the top of the mountain of that receiving core right now. I hope he can get it straight. I hope he don't cost us nothing, but I'm gonna be optimistic and say he's not gonna cost us nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna speak life to that situation, but he do gotta mature, no doubt.
Sean?
So I'm with Mitch on that. Like, I don't think he's gonna cost us a game or cost us anything big. Like, I'm not that concerned about him costing us nothing going forward, because I feel like some of the stuff, like, it's all within the game. Like you were saying, the little first down. I mean, throwing the ball, he dropped the ball on a dude. Like, all right, like, come on, dude. Like, I've seen people do stuff like that. All right, it's a penalty. The only concern, though, is some of the attitude stuff, which he had, earlier when he wasn't getting the rock, and they might have been semi-losing or whatever. But most of that was last year when you had Clipboard Kenny as your QB, you know what I mean, and Bum Mitch. So I would have been mad too if I had them throwing to me. This year he had his little stuff with Fields, but Fields threw him some passes, some touchdowns. He was okay. They was winning. Then once Mr. Unlimited got on the sticks, he is hitting him giving him the rock. So his attitude is like, if your QB is Dookie, then yeah, like, all right, I don't want this dude throwing him. Get somebody else. But he's still immature, but he has to fix that. But like the celebrations, the point of the crowd, like, I'm not that worried about it because, again, I see other people do stuff like that, and I don't think it's going to cost. And I think he might understand now, like, all right, there's a target on me. If I'm going to do the first down, let me not do the whole make it look like a gun. Maybe just go straight hand or something, or maybe do a little shimmy, you know what I mean, Harlem Shake. Something else that's, user-friendly or crowd-friendly, you know what I mean, do a little something real Carlton-ish that they'll like, where he's not really getting in trouble. So, I mean, I'm not concerned, and I do like the way he plays. I mean, I hate to use this Tomlinism, but I'd rather say woe than sick him. And he got the dog in him. Like he a little bit off in the head. He ain't AB off. Like AB, you like that's
hey Sean. That's because he ain't got his money yet. When he get 30 million, can you imagine him with 30 million in his pocket a season?
That's true. You're right.
So
you might not have to give. You might not give him 30. You can't give him 30 million. You might have to be like, look, dog, you can't be the highest paid.
Nah, we give Dusty. We give Dusty
something, but we're not gonna give you because we know you gonna act a fool. We ain't gonna let you turn into AB out here. So, but I'm not concerned with him costing us a game going forward.
But my thing is, when it comes to the penalties, right? I think that we look for something that you and Mitch pointed out how Josh Allen and Mahomes and that other people around the league are doing it. I think so. One, yes, that's true. Two, I think the difference was, and him, it was more what they say as the trigger pull. It wasn't that he just did the side; he did a trigger pull, as if he was shooting. Either or, it's all tickety tacky. But I feel like you guys are comparing it with something that we hadn't got all year, which takes me to my next question: is penalties. We get called for a lot, but we don't get to call. There's been quite a few games where we've seen Alex Highsmith, TJ Watt in headlocks, no holding calls. Cam and Herbert, Will Mitchell's boy, in the game against Cleveland. Jesus Christ, the game against Cleveland. Both of them were held on that Jameis Winston touchdown run.
Oh my God.
So we're looking for something that we haven't gotten all year. So for me, it's one of those situations where I don't expect us to get that same call because we haven't gotten it all year, but we've been called on. And I said from the beginning that I felt that the league was a little biased against us because they didn't want Mike Tomlin. I feel that, and this is in my opinion, they didn't want Mike Tomlin to have 18 winning seasons. They wanted to have a narrative to like, look, see, got his first losing season because they stacked the back end of our schedule the way they did. Because why? They know over the last 7 years, we have been a second half team. We always come on in the second half. So what better way to slow down a team that wins in the second half by stacking them up with, regardless of the record, all divisional games, and then the Chiefs, then the Eagles. I feel like it was part of the ploy. But when you talk about penalties, let's talk about JPJ. Is he going to cost us in a big moment because he's too touchy-feely? Sean?
So I feel like his thing is just being more confident in his technique because we already know he's handsy. Yep. And there's a couple times there was like one or two.
Man, he need to go listen to that Plan song. Please excuse my hands. Like he gotta take the hands out.
There was a couple times though. You was like, you ain't have to call that. But the one, like some of the stuff was dumb. Like what's your man, Ayasi Vossi or whatever, the wide receiver, when he just straight tackled him. Like you ain't need to do that because it was over. I mean, granted you got baked, but it was over his head, so just let him go. So stuff like that. And then some of it is like getting too handsy with it and just rely on your technique. Because I forgot what pass it was. It was like, yo, you in dude's hip pocket. All you gotta do is turn around and hit it, but you grabbing him instead. So I think they're gonna coach him up and just like, yo, like just be confident in your technique. Cause you got it. You semi-clamp dudes. Like if you look at the rest of the games, it was a couple games where he only had like 2 penalties, within like 3 or 4 games. And then there was this game he was highly penalized, and I think whatever, maybe against Cleveland or whatever. So I think it's when he relies on, when he's confident in his technique, then he can shut anybody down. He can clamp anybody down. But again, when he's like, all right, I think this dude might bake me, and then he'll grab him, You know what I mean? I think he just needs to be more confident in his technique because I think he's a good corner and he could shut people down. So that's what I feel. I don't feel like he's gonna cost people too much. I feel like that's something that they're gonna work on. Like, all right, I feel like they're going over the film. Like, look, right here, you know, your man Oshie Voss or whatever. Like, you ain't have to grab him, just turn around, hit the ball, or just let it go because it was over his head. Or when you was in dude's hip pocket, instead of pulling him, just put your hand out, hit it. You don't get no penalty. I think little stuff like that is what's gonna make a difference for him.
So and then Mitch, but you know, and to piggyback or not to piggyback to add, what the thing with that person, that penalty in the end zone, he was in a what we call Sean's fight or flight, right? So in that situation, he was already beat off the ball, so he was trailing, right? So he had no choice in that moment because he was so beat off the line of scrimmage that as soon as he saw the receiver turn and put his hands up, he's looking at the response of the receiver instead of the ball. So in that moment, he's playing the receiver, not the ball, because he was already beat on the route. So in that moment, that's why he's not able to look and see where ball placement is because he was already beat. So his one task is to try to catch up. When you see the receiver now turns to locate the ball, he's now only looking at the receiver again because he's still 2-3 yards behind him. So in that situation, it was a call because he was already beat off the line of the technique, like you said. Technique was bad, got beat off the line of scrimmage. He was trailing. And then he can't locate the ball because the seconds it takes for us to look up to locate the ball is a couple seconds that it takes for the ball to be passed and us through for him to catch it. But I agree with that. Go ahead, Mitch.
I agree with Sean. I saw him in the interview yesterday. He was saying he's gonna lean more on his technique. He said that out of his mouth. But I really like dude, man. I'm not worried about him costing us, but the way the refereeing is on the back end, bro, like, because I think we look at corners nowadays, and when they get a penalty, we automatically blame them. Some of them be blatant, then it's just it's a PI.
But we can't. But I don't want us to make
sometimes
excuses for something he's been doing for the last couple of years. Like we know that's what he's prone to do. We know that
but
he grabs
he
receivers.
handsy. No, I already know that. I know I'm a Big Ten person, so I watched him at Penn State. I know he handsy. I actually like that about his game, but he get too handsy.
You like that he's handsy? Pause.
He get too.
I was thinking the same thing though, man.
Pause.
I was thinking the same thing. I was
Hey,
waiting.
dog. I was chilling. I was waiting, Thursday. There you.
I know, man. I had a cat moment. My bad. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I had a cat moment.
You threw me off. But look though. He I like him overall as a corner. As an overall corner, I like him. I like the fact that he tackles. I like the fact that he's physical at the point of attack. He just need to lean on his technique more, like Sean was saying. But to my point, a couple of them joints, him and T. Higgs was hand fighting the whole way down, and then when the ball get dead, the referee decided to throw the flag on him, and I'm like, yo, they was hand fighting all the way down the field. I feel like that go on across the league, though. I ain't just talking about with JPJ. I'm talking about that goes on across the whole entire league. That the wide receivers get away with murder when it comes to that, especially when the ball in the air. Lord help me. We all know a lot of these receivers push off corners and just to get the ball. Hell, we all still fans. I know how to see Pickens do it at least 5 or 6 times. You know what I'm saying? But he do got to clean that up. He got to clean it up because you never know what can happen down the road, and you get caught in a messed up position, man. You cost us a game or cost us something in that, and having a flaw in your technique. So you need to get it together. But I'm confident he's gonna get it together though.
Cause real quick, so can I say real quick, like look at the first play of the game, that pick 6 that we threw.
Oh
man,
my God.
He gripped Pickens by the back of his head. You know what I mean? But they ain't called out. Like he straight mugged. I was mad handsy right there.
But again, that goes to my point that we already know that they don't have a problem calling penalties on us and throwing flags on us. We
Mm,
all know that they do have a problem with giving us the same respect in that penalty.
Mhm.
And I was saying it's not fair, but we've seen it now for over 12 games. Like, so it shouldn't be a
yeah.
surprise any longer. Like, because we've seen it. You know what I'm saying? Natalie?
I agree. He's way too handsy. I had to go back and watch back tape because I wasn't keeping up with him. He doesn't look for the ball, and you gotta look for that ball.
Will Mitch?
But I'm gonna approach it from a different point of view. First of all, I want to say I absolutely love the guy. I love that he's aggressive. He's combative and all that good stuff. We knew all that coming out of Penn State. That's why a lot of teams passed on him in that first round because they was concerned about him being too handsy and how that would translate in the NFL. But so if somebody asks you, do you think you're the best corner in the league, and you say, yeah, I'm the best corner, that's a humble way of just acknowledging I believe I'm the best corner. But when you come out like he did in the offseason and say he's the best corner in the NFL, see now he got to live up to that. So I think a lot of what's going on with him, other than the fact that his father is a Hall of Fame, linebacker and all that good stuff, is that he understands that he has some receipts out there that people gonna collect on him, and I think that he gets a little too aggressive, at the point of attack, and a little too handsy because he's trying to live up to that mantra. So I think if he can just calm down, and I think when he's played his best is when we've played a total team game. I mean, we just gave up 38 points. It wasn't a good team game on that defensive side. So I think that sometimes he feel like he has to do too much. I don't know if he don't trust what's on the back end, that the back end is going to cover him, uh, or what have you. He's the number one corner. He normally gets the number one wide receiver. So normally he's locked in one on one. So, he's on that island by himself. But if he can calm down, if they can get him to understand that this is the ultimate team game, and that he don't have to do as much as he think he has to do. All he has to do is remember his technique, stay sound, keep his feet, his footwork, right, and you can be handsy up to a point, but he has to understand where that is, where that has to stop. But I think a lot of his mental, and if he can just calm down a little bit and stop trying to live up to this pedestal that he put himself on, I think that's when his game has been the best. But as of late, yeah, he definitely got a dot on his back because he's giving them the dot. He's giving them that uh, you know that crosshair to put on him. So I just want him to calm down, relax, trust what he sees, and play within his ability because he's ultra talented. He's the best corner we have, and we definitely gonna need him. And he needs to become a real leader in that locker room, and not not a problem for us on that defense.
All right, well, let's go. We're going to wrap it up, right? But what I want you to do is, when you start it off, I want you to give me your take on this week's game against the Browns, right? I want you, and if you can, or if you have one, give me a score prediction and tell me who the X factor of the game is going to be. Well, Mitch, you going to start it off.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
Say the question again.
So the outcome of the game, score, who's the X factor?
Who's going to be the X factor on Sunday?
Yeah. Who do you think is going to be an X factor on Sunday for this game?
Uh,
And then what's your
I,
prediction on the score?
I think it's going to be a unit. I think it's going to be that O line. I don't think it's just one person. I think again, like I said earlier, I think that our O line is going to be the key to where we go in this leading up to the end of the season and to the postseason. If we can that O line can continue to play dominant, physical, and also together zone blocking, and you name it. I think and keep that pocket nice and tight so that little 5 foot something Russell Wilson can see over that see over that D line. I, I, I think that's when the sky's the limit. It's going to really come down to me is that O line, how they play.
Score prediction.
Oh, man. I will say 24-13.
Matt.
I agree. It's gonna be our offense doing their thing, holding that lineup, keeping Russ safe, and just playing together.
What's
Let's
your
not call
score?
any stupid plays like end arounds all day.
What's your
We might not
score?
have little Calvin. Little Calvin might not be able to do that this week. If I don't know
Don't
if he comes
worry.
back or not.
Don't worry. Don't give it to slow Cordell Patterson on a reverse. Matt, what's your score
Cordell,
prediction?
man. I know he like 280 at the running back spot, still running like a 4.5. Don't sleep Cordell, man. I rock with Cordell.
Man, it's the Permane, the Permane brothers. I blame them.
He was no slouch, man. He was giving us some good, yardage here.
He over there
What's
at
your
Arch Tavern.
prediction?
He over there at Arch Tavern eating them wings.
I don't know. I think it's gonna be a really good game. It's not gonna be a high scoring game again. I don't think. So I'm thinking maybe about 30 to. I'm gonna give them about 10. That's about it.
Mitch.
I'm just like them. I think it's really gonna be the offensive line. It's about them. We dominate the line. We dominate the game. 31-13. DLL.
Sean.
So my X factor is your boy Jabo, whatever you want to call him, man. You know what I mean? Your man that be stealing the crab legs, man. Because I feel like Jesus ain't delivering from throwing them pick sixes. So I feel like he gonna throw a couple.
Hey yo, wait a minute, time out. Hey yo, time out, yo. Wait.
He's stealing the crab legs.
Hey, wait.
I feel
Hey,
like
bro. Why you gotta do James like that, bro? Why you gotta bring up the crab legs?
Yo, because he said we gotta eat these dubs. You know what I mean? We gotta eat these dubs. I don't think he gonna eat the dub this week. I think he
I
gonna
forgot about
those
those
pick sixes. You know what I mean? Have some crazy picture or video or whatever afterward. And I feel like if depending on the weather, like if it's not snowy, the weather's not terrible, you know what? I feel like they bring in the heat. I feel like the deep Highsmith is back. Highsmith gonna put in work. TJ Watt is gonna be motivated because he's gonna like, yo, I had a donut last game. Pickens gonna be motivated because he know they was talking all that noise.
Oh yeah.
Number 21.
Newsom was running his mouth. Oh yeah,
Newsom was running his mouth like
yeah.
Y'all bums. Y'all got 2-3 wins. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
42-10, man. They putting in that work. 42-10.
I like that, Sean. I like that.
Work, man. 42-10.
So,
your boys got 3 pick sixes again. 42-10.
Man, that's tough, boy. Y'all. My X factor, I'm going on the other side. I'm going to go defensive line. Our defensive line got bullied around that first game. We got no pressure. We got no QB hurries. We only got to Jameis 4 times as far as hits. No sacks. I think that, we get that. We get the D-line going. I think TJ and the D-line take this game more personal than they did the first game. I don't like the fact that Myles Garrett is not full strength because we all know that that's going to be a reason why we won in the event he's not at his best. So I like to play the best against the best. I want to see the best, so we don't have no excuses. But I'm going with the D-line. I also agree with Will Mitch. Football is won in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? It comes down to the O-line and the D-line. Who wants it more? And in this situation, I'm hoping that our D-line win it more than their O-line. And I'm going to go with the same score I gave on last night's show. I'm going to say 24-10. I'm going to go 24-10. I've got us winning. And then I look forward to the rest of the Bengals losing. And then, I look forward to the Ravens losing on their bye.
Hey, those Eagles are 3-0 against the AFC North, man. We got to put a stop to that.
That's the only game I'm
we'll take care of them after we clear the Browns.
Yeah, that's why
look, I do want to be Philly. I'm not gonna lie, I do want to be Philly. But my circle is around the Baltimore game. Because I know if we win that game, the division is a wrap. It's over.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's over. And then there ain't nothing that they can really do about it at that point. If we beat them twice, it's a wrap.
We got to come out of that Eagles game clean. If you notice that little young O line they got, they've been beating teams down. Defensive linemen have been pretty much given up, but in the second half, and that's where Saquon just go to work. And so we have to, they got to rotate in and out fresh.
We gotta
fresh
get at their
linemen.
defense. We gotta get at their defense.
I don't want us to put the cart before the horse because I don't want us to look like we're overlooking the Browns because we are.
Oh no,
definitely not.
Not at all. Not at all.
First things first. First things first.
We don't look. Hey, Sean, he done already gave us a whole case of crab legs from the last game. So he sent that down to the North Shore for the Steelers to go ahead and feast on with garlic butter. Straight. Hey, straight from Florida.
Straight from Florida.
Straight from Florida State.
Straight off the Tallahassee boat.
But man, I appreciate you guys joining. We're gonna do this next Thursday. We're gonna do it at an earlier time next week. But look, this is what we all wanted, right? It's AFC North football. This is football at its best, in my opinion. I love to see us play against the division because I know it always brings the best out of us, as it does to them. So you're gonna get best on best, regardless of record, regardless of who's injured or not. So I look forward to it. Like I said, y'all already know what it is. Steelers getting that W. Well, we're going to gingerly walk this through. Looking for my boy Minka to make an impact so Will Mitch can stop being mad at Minka and looking for that
Hold on now.
Days is number. Like niggas, days are not numbered, Will Mitch.
Availability is a part of ability, right? Can't help it. Hoskins can't stay healthy, baby. But they both got 11 solo tackles, 11 solo tackles apiece, 4.5 sacks. Smith got 3 sacks, and my man Herbert got 4.5 sacks. So he won and a half up on them.
So are you going only on stats, or do we need to talk about what it doesn't show up on the stat line? Don't get him started. Don't get him started.
Hey, Will, say what you said the other night when we was talking about Highsmith, bro. About the moves.
No,
I want to hear this. Wait.
I watched the game with him, and let me just tell you, if there was a Highsmith cheerleader in the room, it was him. Pom-poms and all.
Hey, Turk.
He's a one big play wonder per game. One big play wonder.
I'm gonna tell you why I like watching games with Will. I'm gonna tell you this is why I love watching games with Will. It's really because of this right here. And he probably know what I'm about to say. Will have called about. He be like, "Oh, you dumb baby." He's going to be like, "Oh, we got the goods."
It's a love-hate relationship, man.
Right.
I can't help it. That's what it is. 1 minute I love him, 1 minute I can't stand him. Now I do want Highsmith. I want Highsmith to come back and ball out, but I want them to manage his snap count because if we want some splash, I think Herbig is the man. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
And with that said,
if we need a play, Herbig is the way.
They saying all 3 of them going to be on the field this Sunday.
And please, Mitch, don't encourage him.
I'm just
encourage him.
No, I'm happy. I'm happy everybody's going to be healthy. For the most part. I think Highsmith is probably 90%, maybe 80% healthy, according to what I heard today. But if they bring him back, they're going to probably manage the snap count. Bottom line is, we didn't get many, like you say, we didn't get many pressures and sacks against Cleveland in the first game. I know the weather had a part to do with that, but they're going to have to have fun with it. Move TJ around. Hey, man, I like when they switch sides. And then, they come at you different ways. So I just need, more importantly, I need my inside linebackers to go to work because they've been absent. It's letting gaps stay open like that, man. So I don't know. If that defense get it together, like you say, we need both units playing their best ball going forward in order for us to send a statement that we for real. That's all I'm saying. We got three AFC North games. We cannot drop not one of them AFC North games. We need to close out the AFC North and get ready for the real deal because we still got Kansas City. We got the Eagles. So we got an opportunity to show if we for real or not. Everybody gonna know before the season end whether or not Pittsburgh Steelers is gonna be a factor in the postseason. We already know.
Let's get it.
They gonna
man's
see.
right back. My man's right back.
Y'all see her big lover there, man. It is what
I
it
love
is.
him.
We'll
I love
catch
him. I love
y'all.
him.
We'll catch y'all next Thursday. Cause I
All
don't
right,
want to
man.
hear them talk about her
Herbig
big
for
no more. I
president.
dealt with this. Oh shit.
Come on.
And with that, we are out.